Well, hello there, Skywinders. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. On today's episode, we have this right here. This is the Delonghi compact ceramic heater. It comes with a remote and it has a digital thermostat. As you can see, I've been using it for a few days, and there are pros and cons, but mostly it's a very good heater. The main thing that I'm happy about is the fact that it does not emit a horrible chemical smell. I've been going through a lot of heaters and I had to return them all because they all produce the same chemical smell. That I believe it's an oil that they use on the heating element. They put that there so that it won't rust, but the problem is that it burns off that chemical smell, and even after hours and hours of running it on high heat, it will not go away for some reason. So that's been a new problem. Another new problem that I've noticed with heaters, just in general, no particular brand, but in general, is that the thermostat is not as accurate as they used to be. Whether it's an analog or a digital thermostat, they're not as good as they used to be back in the old days. And I know I sound like an old guy talking about the good old days, but that's the reality. I do not know what's happening with the thermostats, and I don't know why they keep adding that chemical smell. In any case, let's look at this heater. So to power it on, you power it on right here. And you got two settings as far as heat. This is one. I know you can't see it. Let me dim the lights. Okay, there we go. So I dimmed the lights, and as you can see over here, let me zoom in. That's heat number 1. You can put it on higher. That's heat number 2. That's higher, and you can hear it louder. And here, this is anti-freeze. This will prevent a room from freezing. This is fan only right here. So there's no heat, only the fan running. And when you put it on echo, it'll keep the temperature up to a limit, 79. It won't go beyond that. So that'll save electricity that way. And of course, it does have a swivel function. I'm not going to demonstrate it, but trust me, it does work. It rotates the heater back and forth like that. And you do get a timer like that. 24-hour limit, and the minimum 30 minutes. So that's the timer. The remote is basically the same as this, so it just does everything that you see over here, and it does have a battery, and it did come with a battery, and it does work in any direction. You can aim it like that or down, left, right, wherever you want, and it does work. So it does have two safety features. It has overheat protection. If you put something blocking the heat, it'll overheat and it'll stop. And the other safety protection is the tip over protection. So if you tip it over in the left, right, back and forth direction, in any direction, it will stop working. So I'm not going to demonstrate that, but I did it off camera and it does work. And I am going to show you right now the sound levels, the decibel levels. I used the decibel meter to check this sound levels, but I can say right now that this is not a loud heater, so you're okay as far as the loudness. And it does have, like any digital heater, it does have a relay, and it's just not a loud relay. So as far as the loudness, I wouldn't worry about it. The only thing you might be concerned about is the beep. It doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, just keep that in mind. It does have that beep, and there's no way to turn it off. Another thing that it does have is a child safety lock. So if you want to put it on child safety lock, just press these two, minus and positive at the same time, 3 seconds. And then you see that right there. So that disables everything. You can power it off, but you cannot power it on again. So it disables all the buttons. And once you power it off, you will not be able to power it back on unless you disable the child safety lock. See, everything's disabled. So let's disable the child safety lock. And now we can power it on again. So the other thing that it has is is that it can display the temperature from factory Fahrenheit, but also Celsius. So if you live in a country that uses Celsius, just press the plus button, 10 seconds. Okay, so now we are in Celsius. So to send it back to Fahrenheit, just press 10 seconds. And that's it. So the last thing I want to mention is the display. Unlike other heaters that I've looked at and I bought in the past, this has a very nice display as far as the color and brightness. The ones that I bought before, they were too bright and they would light up the room when I turned my light off, because I like to sleep in total darkness. And those displays were too bright, way too bright. But on this one, it has a nice orange glow that you cannot see it at night unless you're looking at it. If you're looking at it directly, you can see it, but it won't light up the room. You won't even see that it's there. So overall, I think everything's great about it. The only downside is as far as the digital heaters, and this is any heater, not just this brand, but any heater that has a digital thermostat, is that when you have a power outage, if it's an analog thermostat, when the power comes back, it'll turn on again. But on the digital thermostats, when there's a power outage, the unit will turn off because there's no power. But when the power comes back, the unit will go back to being turned off or on standby, but it will not turn on. So what happens to a person that's using this and there's a power outage, even for just 1 minute, this will turn off, and then when the power comes back, it'll be on standby, and the temperature is going to start dropping in your bedroom. So if you live in an area where there's a lot of power outages, it's better to go with an analog thermostat, because the digital thermostats have that problem. So thank you for watching, subscribe, and thumbs up.